This episode is brought to you by Michaela, winner of Harper's Bazaar Malaysia's Hot 100 Beauty Awards. Hi and welcome to Fam Real Talk TV, where we bring you the many untold stories and successes of women across Asia. My name is Khaja, and together with my partner Nisa Aris, we have founded a community called FAM, which stands for Female Entrepreneurs Movement. And don't forget, Fam Real Talk TV is also available as a podcast. Don't forget to catch us on Anchor FM, iTunes, and Spotify. Now, are you ready for my next guest? She's a writer, storyteller, content creator, founder of Artistic Strategies Academy, and guess what? A Harvard University graduate. Seriously, what can she not do? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, my next guest is none other than Claudine Fernandez, founder of Artistic Strategies Academy. Claudine!
Hi, Bella.
Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for having me on the show.
Of course. So, tell me, how everyone wants to know, right? We have seen your work online and offline, right? Tell us a little bit more about Artistic Strategies Academy, your journey. We want to know. I want to hear. Go for it. Yeah.
Well, I've always believed that children should have fun learning and they should experience joy when they are learning. Yeah. But I think as an educator, and I've been an educator in Singapore for quite some time, not all children experience that joy. Yeah, for sure. So I made it my personal mission to go and find ways in which that they can learn, with joy and experience joy. And I found it through the arts. Yeah. So when I went to Harvard University, I learned a lot of techniques that I then brought back to Singapore. And I found that it really works very well with children because children are like natural artists. They love to experiment. They love, toying with different art forms. And when they do that, they become really inspired by their own creations, and then they start to write about what they have created. Yes. So I'm really in the business of grooming young writers, not just students, but young writers who are confident and who really enjoy the process of learning how to write.
Absolutely, and I think that is such a brilliant, it's beyond than just a brilliant initiative. This is actually quite inspiring. In fact, this is very, very inspiring. The amount of students that Claudine has taught, just give me a number. How many students have you taught under your wing? Go ahead.
More than 800, and possibly increasing.
I hope it will increase. But it was definitely difficult when you first started out, for sure. Any business, right? Tell us a little bit more of the journey as when you first started out. Was it quite difficult to start an academy that grooms young writers?
Yeah, it was difficult. I experienced many challenges, and there were people telling me, and asking me whether this would really work in Singapore, especially because, not many people believe in the arts. But I think we all have to start somewhere. And I think that if I really truly believed in my mission, that I could make it happen. So one of the challenges that I faced were with parents because they didn't really understand the concept, and I don't blame them because this is such a new and novel concept that was brought into Singapore. So I really had to convince them about the value of this way of teaching that is different, but it's a really long-term approach because when we get children to enjoy learning and to enjoy writing, the benefits are not just in the short term, and you will be able to see the benefits as they grow up, as they join the workforce. So it was tough and challenging, to convince them at first. But as the parents started to see the progress of the children and how they really enjoyed coming for the classes, they were convinced and they started to tell their friends about it as well.
That's good. It's always good to hear from other parents about the good work that you do. If I were to hear from another parent, my child has done this and has improved that much, and they ask me, who did that? And then go well, it's Claudine. And then do you get that all the time? A lot of parents coming to you, I heard you did this for my friend's kid. Are you able to turn things around for my child? Do you get that a lot of pressure actually?
Yeah, definitely. I think in such an exam-oriented society like Singapore, it is very normal for parents to want their children to score A's. But I feel that this is where, as an educator, I come in and I explain to them that different children are different. different.
Yeah.
They each have their own strengths. They each have their own areas of improvement that they have to work on.
Yes.
So it is my job to really identify what are the child's strengths, and then to discuss with the parent and to work closely with the parent to bridge the gaps and to really allow the child to reach his or her fullest potential. Because that is the goal, you know, to be able to watch children grow and progress and to reach their fullest potential. I think that is why I'm in the business of education.
Oh my gosh. I mean, for those who are watching, Claudine has like an impressive number of followers on Facebook. She has done a lot of videos out there just educating parents and children, right? At the same time, was it difficult to just get out there putting a video for yourself? And was it difficult to actually launch this for yourself on that platform?
Well, I must admit, I'm not a video kind of person. So of
With
course,
the hair, I think you are.
yeah, but you know, I'm slowly growing into the role, and with encouragement from people like you and your team and my followers, I think that I have to tell myself not to be so self-conscious, but to see the bigger purpose in it. And it's really to, you know, spread the word about this kind of pedagogy that I'm using and how it can benefit children, because children's education is not just in school, it is not just in enrichment centers or tuition centers, but a lot of the education is also with the parents and with the time that the parents spend with the children. So I think parents need to know as well, you know, what are some of the best practices, and I'm always willing to talk with them and to converse with them and to find out what they are doing with their children as well.
And your videos are great. I mean, like, I mean, there was like a video that that really helped my own nephews and nieces to understand how to write a story out. And I was like sharing and all that kind of thing. I was like, this is great. So I mean, like, what kind of content are we expecting, or can we expect, you know, moving forward in in the next few months? I am sure you have like some ideas. Tell us.
Yeah, I think in 2019, you know, the content would really be to inspire both parents and children to see storytelling not just as something that will help them in the exams or in school, but as a life skill, because everybody needs to be able to tell stories convincingly, to tell compelling stories. And if we groom a generation of writers and storytellers, you know, we'll be able to tell our unheard stories, right? And to own our voices, and, you know, to really be able to spread the word of what we believe in and what is important to us, not just in Singapore or Asia, but around the world.
Absolutely. So now, tell us your story, Claudine. I mean, like, honestly, when you look back across the journey of the many years that you worked, or maybe start your own business, if we can like really go back in time and then like we ask ourselves like, are there moments where we go like, I shouldn't have done that, but I did it anyway? But are there moments like that, like in your journey, in your pursuit of this business, were there moments where you go like, I shouldn't have done that? Tell us.
Well, I guess, you know, we all have those moments as business owners, as entrepreneurs. And I think when I was first starting out, I didn't really define who my ideal client was. And it was only after I read up and I attended workshops that I realized that we shouldn't be focusing on a general audience, but we should really be speaking to those who have the same values and those who are like-minded, you know, and believe in our philosophy and believe in what we do. So then I began to narrow down and to really identify who my ideal client was. So that was a big learning point for me, and I'm still learning till today, you know, how to target the right people, how to speak to the hearts of the parents and the children, and those who want to learn in the way that I believe is the best way to learn.
I mean, honestly, with your persona and your personality and the hair, I was like a kid. Yeah, you should too. But do you get that a lot? Like, my teacher has pink hair. Like, do you get that a lot?
I do. You know, some of the kids tell me that I am like a unicorn, and some of them think I'm their best friend. Even strangers, the kids on the road, they think that I'm their best friend. But I think it works because pink is such a bright color, right?
Course,
and it's so optimistic, you know, and children are naturally optimistic and hopeful. So even the boys like it, surprisingly. They will not have pink hair, but I think, you know, I think it goes with the whole experience of learning and the joy of learning.
Learning with you,
With
artistic,
me
yeah,
and
exactly.
my team, and
Yeah.
I think it works.
I mean, like, and Claudine's personality is so authentic on the online space. You may not know this, but you should visit her on Facebook and her Instagram. And there's a lot of storytelling, as what she mentioned, a lot of storytelling going on in there. And I am just so floored by the amount of content that is so inspiring and motivating to get our kids to write better. So the next question is, how can we as adults, or is there any lessons to be learned from children? Can we actually learn something from children?
I think we can learn from children something new every day.
Really? Oh, wow.
And I
Okay.
think that is what I really enjoy doing. I wake up and I go to work
Yeah.
knowing that every day is going to be different.
Yeah.
Every day I'm going to learn something from these tiny little kids
yes.
that have so much to teach us about
Yes,
life.
yeah.
And I think one thing that I learned observing them actually applies to my business, and how, you know, they're not afraid to take risk.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not afraid to try and experiment, especially when you give them the support too.
Yeah.
And this is so important, right? Because sometimes we are told not to do this or not to do that, but if we just take the first step and
Yeah.
we try, and even if it doesn't work out,
Yeah.
right? All we have to do is to just get back up, try a different way,
Yeah.
and kids do that naturally.
Absolutely.
And it's so
it's
important.
so surprising. You know, like adults, we're so guarded.
Yeah,
we're like,
exactly.
No, I'm gonna make that mistake. No, this is gonna risk my business. I don't think I can do this. But I think you're right. I think we can learn something from children. They
Yeah.
are risk takers more than us, actually.
More than us, because
than
they are
us,
less
yeah.
inhibited by
Yeah,
life.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, so tell me one story, a favorite story of one of your students, something that that really tells you what, this is all worth it because of that one kid. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be the story of two sisters that I started to teach. When they first came into Artistic Strategies Academy, they were struggling a lot.
Yeah.
The elder one was diagnosed with dyslexia, and the younger one could barely read. So, you know, both of them found the English language very, very difficult to master. And I knew it was going to be really an uphill battle to change their mindset, you know, to encourage them to view English as something enjoyable.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of work, it took a lot of time to understand what they enjoy, what they like, what their strengths are. But, you know, very soon we begin to see them take little steps and become more courageous and brave when attempting to write and when attempting to learn. And by the end of the year, so just in 1 year, they really transformed into such enthusiastic learners of the language. They did better at school, so their confidence improved. And it's really, really humbling to just see them, you know, get back up whenever they fall. And we work towards creating this environment for not just children like them, but for every child that wants to learn, because we think that the environment is very, very important in a child's learning, and to be able to provide this conducive, encouraging, nurturing environment for children. I think that's what I really live for.
Oh wow, that is very inspiring and very heartwarming to know that you are doing so much for the community of parents who want their kids to be better at whatever that they're doing. And it takes a lot of confidence to do that. It takes a lot of hard work.
It
Do you
does.
have bad days where you go like, all right, I cannot see a child today and I will not do this? Like, do you have that? As an entrepreneur, founder, you're the teacher as well.
I am,
Yeah, tell us.
I mean, of course, you know, there will always be days where sometimes you feel a bit tired. You would really question whether what you're doing will yield the results that you want. But, you know, you just have to motivate yourself and to think back about all the children that are going to benefit.
Yeah.
You know, and you have to be the leader, you have to be the strong one to motivate your team, to show the parents that you are the right person that they entrusted their children with. So this is something that I do every night and every morning as well. I reflect on the day ahead, the week ahead, and before going to bed, you know, I reflect on the lessons that I've learned and what I'm grateful for. And there's just so much to be grateful for.
Oh wow, that is so poignant, because as entrepreneurs, you actually tend not to be so grateful for a lot of things.
Yeah,
You take a lot of things for granted.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah. To be grateful for something is actually to have introspection and be reflective.
Exactly.
Which we don't really do, but it's
We are so
important.
busy, right?
We're so busy
Yeah, we're so
managing the
busy.
business.
Yeah,
Right? But
exactly.
but you know, Artistic Strategies has gone from like from a few students to a few hundred students, and I think that this the world is an oyster now. I mean, on your website you have a section for shopping, for books. Like, this is something that you curate. Tell us a bit more about the books. You are teaching students to write, and you are selling books as well. Tell us.
Yeah, because I think that the material, the learning material that the children are exposed to are very important.
Yeah.
So when I first created this set of books, the vision that I had was for children to enjoy,
Yeah.
you know, working and using these materials. So I created it with an illustrator,
Yeah.
who's a friend, and she created doodles,
Yeah.
you know, because doodles are the in thing, and also
Yeah.
what kids like to do.
Yeah.
And I told her I want it to be illustrated in a way that children can actually add to the doodles,
Yeah.
and they can color as well. So it's not just it's not just
Yeah.
like, you know,
A normal assessment
a normal
book.
assessment
Oh my
book,
gosh,
exactly,
yeah.
which they shun, you know, they don't want to do. So
Right.
whenever the kids come to the academy, they enjoy doing the exercises in the
Yeah.
workbook much more than they enjoy homework, right, or schoolwork, because it's different,
Yeah.
it's fresh, it's innovative. The activities are something that they enjoy, and it's always different.
Yeah.
So I think this, you know, helps them to be more motivated
Yeah.
to learn and to complete their work.
So, if you had had an opportunity to write your own book, what will it be about? Yeah. Wow, it's gonna be a tough one.
This is a tough question.
Yeah, tough
I
one.
haven't really thought about it, but I guess
Oh yeah.
I guess I would want to write about my journey as a teacher,
Yeah.
and how I have grown from just being a teacher to an education entrepreneur, you know, and I would want to train other teachers as well, to really remember why we started to teach in the first place, and the purpose, the whole purpose of teaching, and, you know, affecting the lives of kids, not just for that year or for that month, but a teacher's impact and a teacher's influence on children can actually last a lifetime.
That's true.
So a lot of teachers forget that because of all the stresses and all the busy periods and the marking. But I think if you really go back to the core of who we are as educators, it will really, you know, inspire a lot of people, and it will also bring a lot of meaning to our lives.
So education entrepreneur. I mean, if you put that together, educationpreneur. My gosh, like, I mean, like, but that's exactly what Claudine is. I mean, not only are you like running the business, you are teaching at the same time, and you are like a consultant too. You're advising parents on how to like really, stretch the child's potential, which really is a lot of work. So tell us. Really, a typical day of Claudine's life at Artistic Strategies Academy. A typical day. Go
Wow,
for it.
okay.
Yeah.
It's quite hectic.
It's hectic, I know. She's very busy, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think you know, I've learned how to keep a kind of a balance in life, and exercise is so important, you know, to keep healthy and to keep your mind energized as well. So I try to begin the day with some exercise, sometimes light exercises, need not be too hectic, and then comes the answering of emails, the admin work, you know, the planning, communicating with parents actually takes up quite a bit of my day. So I communicate with them through WhatsApp, or I meet with them face to face, or phone calls, you know, just to keep them updated about the students' progress, because I appreciate that two-way communication with parents. And then, you know, I brief my staff and go in to teach. And as the day starts to wind down, I start to, you know, be a little bit more reflective on what I could have done better, or, you know, think about what I should be doing for the next day. So that's a typical weekday, and then the weekends are
too.
the weekends as well. Because, you know, the thing about education, we have to continue teaching, but I do have to set aside some time, you know, for family and loved ones, because they remind me of who I am and keep me grounded. So I think that's important.
Absolutely. All right, let's get real, Claudine. I mean, like, with the government's initiative of, you know, like getting us all the children to be more creative, you know, abandoning you know, certain exams and things like that. Do you see there's like hope in like our society where we actually embrace more creative thinking amongst young children? Like, do you see that happening, or like what are your thoughts about that?
Sure, I think that's a very good question. And I think even the government, like you said, you know, even Ministry of Education is starting to realize that a lot of the skills required for the workplace of the future it's a requirement for
Yeah.
people to be creative,
Yes.
and for them to use their critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
Without that, you will be severely disadvantaged.
Yes.
So I think, I definitely have hope and confidence in parents, not just in Singapore, but, in Asia, all over the world, that they will be able to see the value of nurturing that creative spirit in their child, and, even taking them to activities, doing with them activities that will nurture that creative spirit,
Yeah,
because this is something that the child can take with them throughout their life journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and benefit from it,
Yeah.
be happier in the workplace,
Yeah.
and take pride in their creations,
Yeah.
and take ownership of what they create, because we
Yeah.
are all really born to create.
Yes.
And I think if that is not nurtured in children from a young age, it could really affect them in the long run as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. I mean, honestly, you're a beacon of light for many teachers everywhere.
You're so kind.
I mean, seriously, from the amount of work that you've done, I've seen it myself. For your students, for yourself, for your team. If there's a teacher out there who's watching, and if she wants to delve into business, what would your advice be for the teachers who are watching and may just want to enter the same field? Yeah.
Well, I would say definitely go for it, because as teachers, we have to do everything in school, right? We do admin work, we do marking, we talk to parents, we plan our lessons. So we are really, really equipped with the skills that are necessary to be good business people. And I think if that we can take those skills and that we can apply it, to our own businesses, we have a lot to offer, and we have a lot of value that both parents and children can reap the benefits of. And I know that starting out is very, very scary. I mean, we've all been there, you know. But what I would say is to take small steps, to test and to get feedback, and then to refine the process as you go along. And if it's really something that you believe in, don't hold back, just start, and very soon you'll be able to see whether this is for you or not.
Yeah. And when you started off, I'm very sure coming up with a name for the business must be a headache. But how did you come up with the name Artistic Strategies Academy? How do you even come up with that? Is there a story?
Well,
I'm sure there's a story.
There is a story, and I think, I always wanted something to do with the arts to be in the business name, but at the same time, I didn't want it to be mistaken for an art school, because that's not what we are.
Correct.
So, I was just toying a bit about what is it that I really want to do, and it goes back to my why, right? Why is it that I do what I want to do? I want to inspire, and how do I do this? Through the arts. And so it's really about using artistic strategies to teach as a means for children to feel inspired and to feel joy when they are learning. So that's how I came up with the name. And funnily enough, my ex-student is the one who designed the logo, and I contacted him and I said, can you design for me a logo? I trust in your creative capacities and direction.
Okay.
Because I know that you have been taught well. And he did it within, I think, a matter of, an hour. He just came up with something, he showed it to me, and I loved it.
I loved it too.
Thank you.
It's so sticky. Yeah.
So, and that logo has been with me, since the business started, like for years, and I think it will continue to be with me, because it's really the essence of what I believe in and what we do at ASA.
And there's so much history to that too.
Yes,
oh my
exactly.
gosh, I didn't know that. But thank you for sharing. Oh my gosh.
My pleasure.
And you know what? Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, we really wish you nothing but success
Thank
for
you so
Artistic
much.
Strategies Academy. And you
you.
are, like I mentioned, a beacon of light for other teachers who may just want to come and join in this path and really take that risk of doing business too. Because why not?
Yeah,
if Claudine
exactly.
can do it, so can you. I should put that as a hashtag.
Maybe. Nice tagline.
All right. Thank you, Claudine, so much. But
Thank you.
before you go, we're gonna play a little game.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do
She's
it.
so ready. She's like, okay, I can do this. All right.
We play
okay.
games every day.
True. Okay. So before you go, we're gonna play a little game where I'm gonna ask you the first a word. I'm
Okay.
gonna give you a word, and then you're gonna tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Okay.
Very easy. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Pink.
Claudine.
That's so true. All right. Next one. Books.
Education.
Pen.
Power.
Okay, another one. The beach.
Relaxation.
Holiday.
Necessary.
Self-love.
Significant.
Motivation.
Everything.
Children.
Innocence.
Oh, that's true. That's
Yeah.
very true. Life.
Joy.
And last but not least, Claudine.
Inspiration.
Oh,
Hopefully.
that's true. That is absolutely true. That is so true. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Claudine,
Bella.
for being
Thank you so
here.
much for inviting me.
Honestly, it's such a joy to have you. To have you here. I mean, blue and pink. Oh my
Likewise.
gosh.
Yeah, we
Alright.
match.
Alright guys, don't forget to catch Claudine on her Facebook. You just have to go to Artistic Strategies. She's on Facebook, Instagram, and hopefully a podcast channel, I hear.
Yeah,
Oh my
coming
God.
soon.
Why
in the
not?
works.
Yeah, in the works. Yeah. If you want to catch Claudine and all the work that she has done, please visit her at artisticstrategies.com.sg. And I will see you, ladies and gentlemen, in our next episode. Take care and bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, today just